that was really unexpected last week. That all of a sudden, Cruel Sister, fell in my lap because of a student that came along, and it got me spending. I spent way too much time this week reviewing John Renbourn and Pentangle songs, and that's mostly what I'm going to talk about today. It is August 23rd, Friday the 23rd. We're getting close. Ooh, 2 weeks to camp. I got 2 spots left. If you're thinking about camp, get a hold of us soon and let us know. 2 spots. But Cruel Sister was interesting. Some of the response I saw on like our preview and the YouTube channel and stuff like that is very, very dark song. All about, one sister murdering the other and the other body washing up and being, her bones turned into a harp, and the harp gives away the murder. Anyway, a lot of old English ballads are really dark like that. There's, is it Sauvé, another Pentangle tune about the highwaywoman that robs people and stuff. Anyway, dark English ballads. Anyway, but it was gave me a chance to revisit a lot of other stuff. And actually, that's what I'm going to talk about. So that was the only new lesson we got this week. Was from Cruel Sister. Nice picking going on in it. Unusual time. Like I never even paid attention up until I started, wanted to teach it to my student. As to what time it was in. I just kind of hummed it in my head all the time, and it never even crossed my mind to figure out what was going on. But it ran into some other cool videos of John doing some really interesting things. Ooh, that just changed the mode. You hear it? What I'm doing right here. I'm doing a little picking pattern using my first 2 fingers on the top 2 strings. My index finger mostly on the 2nd string, my middle finger on the 1st string, and then not playing the 3rd string at all, or the 5th string, but just playing notes of the scale up and down. I've done this in some old videos, old news things, but not particularly, it's been a while. So I'm going to talk about a couple different modes here right now. But one is, what I'm doing is just playing an E scale up the D string, going from E and kind of mixing it with alternating down to the 6th string and the bass. And in kind of random, it doesn't really matter like what time I'm thinking in. So all you're hearing here is really an E5 chord, because everything we're hearing is an E and a B. Now move to the 2nd note of the E scale, F sharp, 3rd note. That takes away the 5 sound. Now I have a whole E major sound because we got the G sharp in there. Now if I move to A at the 7th fret, you can hear how that note wants to resolve. That's that sus4 sound. If I move up to B, I've still got E's, nothing but E's and B's. If I go to C sharp, that's got a little, kind of a similar sound to suspended. It doesn't feel resolved. If I move up to D sharp, that D sharp wants to get back to E. Now if I want it to sound like a different mode, instead of D sharp, I play D natural. It's got a completely different sound, right? That flatted 7th out of the major scale gives me the Mixolydian mode. And I'm to the 14th fret when I get back to E. If I change one more note, if I change the 3rd, now I just lowered the 3rd. I played E, F sharp, G natural. Makes it sound minor because that would give it that'd be the 3rd of our E minor chord. Keep going to the A and the B and the C sharp and the D natural. And that's the Dorian mode. If I lower one more note, the sixth from C sharp to C, I'm going to go E, F sharp, G, A, B, C natural this time, D, E. There is E minor. So started with a major scale, lowered the seventh, and I had a Mixolydian scale. Lowered the third, and I had a Dorian scale. Lowered the sixth, and I had the minor scale, what would be called the parallel minor scale. So those were all E scales. The first was E major, or E Ionian. The second was E Mixolydian. The third was E Dorian, and the fourth was E Aeolian, commonly known as minor. Well, mess around here a little bit with another Pentangle tune. So I hope to get to a lesson on that soon. That is actually, it's more of a Renbourn tune, but it was on the same album. It was on Cruel Sister, and it was Lord Franklin. Lord Franklin, great story that John tells in one of the, in a video of him, tells a 3 or 4 minute story about Franklin and his disastrous trip looking for the Northwest Passage and getting frozen and dying in Canadian ice. Anyway, there it is, the English ballad, the darkness of the English ballad. But that got me kind of reliving. It's been a long time since John Renbourn passed away. And many of you know that he was a huge influence on me, and I really feel so fortunate that I got to meet him, get to know him, became friends, and did a few concerts with him. And really the highlight of my musical career. There were tunes of his I just love to play. Let's do a couple. Let me see here. Let me try a little bit of let's do Ladye Nothing. Let's go there. This was the first tune I think of his I really ever paid attention to and learned and taught to a student back when I was a teenager. Decide which ending to use. I need an E in the bass there. Anyway, that is there anything else I want to do in drop D? Nah, not while I'm here. That is Ladye Nothinges Toye Puffe. Just a fascinating tune of this quasi neo-Renaissance kind of sound. That is so neat. Now, so that and I learned that because I was able to find a book of his that I don't have handy here. It's up in the studio, but and that had music to a lot of his tunes. Like, well, you've heard me play Judy. What the heck? Let's make this a whole John Renbourn honorary day. I can remember all these. I don't know. I think I mentioned that one was Judy. A lot of his songs had really interesting changes in texture. What's that? Is that Debbie Ann? No. Yeah. Goes into a normal little fat Travis picking thing. Parts a lot of times. I'll go to the next part of this because it was these rapid parts in either thirds or sixths. In this case, it's thirds. Anyhow, just these really cool things. And these ones, everything I played here, so yeah, these were all written when he was like in his early 20s, back in the early 60s. So one of the neat things that I found, I guess, you know what, I guess I gotta show you one more, because this is another one that I struggled with for years because what was in the book was not right. And recently, I might have even talked about this recently, or within about a year ago, I think I was working on this one. This is not in really performable shape yet, but I'll show you what I'm working on. have a couple more lessons of Renbourn tunes that I have to get to. I noticed somebody recently bought like almost all the Renbourn lessons we have. The Earl of Salisbury, Judy, Ladye Nothinges Toye Puffe. And it made me, Bicycle Tune. There's another one that was in there. This one, though, has a really fast part of melodies played in thirds. Sorry, sixths. The last one, Debbie Ann, had thirds. Let's see if I can get through this. This is, again, not quite ready for prime time, but I'm having a lot of fun playing it. This is Another Monday. Anyway, it's coming along. So that's what I have been doing lately, is working on some of the pretty intricate tunes of Renbourn's. So that one's coming along too. Just about got those down. Got to have them down and ready for camp coming up in a couple of weeks. So I just gave away my whole set. It's going to be a John Renbourn day at camp for me. Now, save that one for next week. I think that's it for today. See you next week.